The downfall of Salt Bae is genuinely insane. Hello, you gorgeous donut. Back in 2017, one man turned sprinkling salt into a global empire. He became one of the most recognized chefs and restaurateurs in the entire world because of this simple act. He was everywhere. He had so many memes about him. He was hanging out with A-list celebrities and athletes, global leaders. Everybody of any importance seemed to want to be in this guy's presence. His name was Nusret Gökçe, aka Salt Bae. But just a few years later, after seemingly being one of the most famous people in the world, Salt Bae's entire career and his businesses would fall short. His restaurant started struggling, he was getting lawsuits, and the same amount of fame that was putting him on such a pedestal ended up destroying him. So in this video, I thought that we would document how a Turkish butcher became one of the most famous restaurateurs in the world, and how his brand slowly collapsed forever. Now, Salt Bae was actually born in 1983 in Turkey. He was born into a relatively poor family. His family didn't have much to their name. His father worked as a mine labourer, often long hours, and money was very tight when he was growing up. And because of this hardship, Nusret actually had to leave school at around 13 or 14 to help his family financially. He would then move to a bigger city, Istanbul, in Turkey, and work as a butcher's apprentice, trying to get some money together. And it was reported around that time, because neither him or his family had much money, Nusret would actually sleep on the floor of the butcher's shop because he didn't have a home to go to in Istanbul, because he moved there by himself. And it's also important to note, like, during this time, he didn't really get any culinary training, like professional training. He was very much self-taught, and a lot of his skills came from hands-on in the butcher's shop, and also just like seeing by eye, looking at other chefs and seeing how they went about their work. And as Nusret would gain more and more confidence, he would actually leave Turkey in 2009. The first place that he left to go to was Argentina, and then briefly the United States, to kind of learn about mostly things to do with steak and how to, you know, cook steak like to the top tier level. He really kind of amassed himself in steakhouse culture, as he saw that was like a niche that he wanted to master. Very clever, okay? Getting where the money is, right? I don't want to cook a Big Mac. Give us a filet mignon right now, will you? Now again, he would have very little money. He would often work in kitchens for free, just to kind of, you know, gather all of this education, really, this hands-on education. However, he would be kicked out of the United States because of issues with his visa. So he then returned home back to Turkey a year later, and he actually managed to gain some investment from some wealthy people within Turkey, and he managed to open up his first restaurant, Nusret. Now, it's spelled like this, and many people might know this is like the first restaurant in the empire that he later created. Every single restaurant that Salt Bae has is named this, just in different countries. Now, he'd kind of took all of the information that he'd learned and made this a steakhouse, as that's the thing that he kind of amassed himself, like I said. And it's important to note, this first restaurant wasn't like the other ones that came later, which obviously are very over the top, as we're going to see. This was very much like a modest steakhouse, a steakhouse that many people could afford. Now, in his first restaurant, this is where he would start to kind of do his showmanship tactics. He would often cut the steak in front of the customers, as you've probably seen him do in many of his viral videos coming up. But he would do everything in this restaurant. Like, he would work there for most hours of the day. He wasn't kind of one of those bosses that kind of just watches from afar and just kind of takes in the money, which definitely contrasts with what he's like today. But people in Turkey around this time said that his distinctive style very much kind of set him apart from other chefs in the area, or in the country in general. People kind of hadn't seen somebody that was so like main character-ish. I guess, like, obviously when you go to a restaurant, you don't really meet the head chef that many times, whereas he always wanted to be front and center, which, you know, contributed to his downfall later on in this video. Now, this restaurant, as the years went by, became very successful, and he actually decided to franchise it and open up another restaurant called Nusret in Dubai in 2014. And this would be a life-changing event for Salt Bae, as in 2017, in this Dubai restaurant was the reason that he became so famous today. This was where that famous viral video of him doing the salt sprinkling emerged. Let's take a look at it. Now, I remember this going viral and thinking, what is going on here? Like, how extra it is. Just making a little beat there. Bro, imagine he just cut his finger. Like, can you imagine? That would have just changed the trajectory of this man's life. Right, giving it one of those, right? The Mick Foley just needs to put a sock on his hand. Any WWE fans, I love that one. Few people just dropped a like on this video. There you go. You can have that for free. Honestly, when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is kind of flamboyant and kind of impressive. I like it. This chef's got personality. But I wouldn't want to eat there. You know, like, you don't know where people's elbows goes. The fact that the salt is kind of hitting his elbow, then going onto the plate, kind of freaks me out a little bit. Like, you use your elbows to lean on everything, right? You don't know. 2 seconds later, he could have been like this. A cat could have shat on that. You don't know, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? I guess the same applies with hands, but you know, you wash them more than you wash your elbow. Now, this video went absolutely viral. It got hundreds of millions of views globally, and I say globally because obviously, like, he's not speaking in this, so there's no barriers for a language. Like, this can transcend any country at all, which just gave him, like, such a wider reach, as everybody can look at this and be like, what is going on here? Some of the comments on the original video are hilarious as well. When you use thus in an essay, that used to make me feel so powerful. Or like when I would say, oh yeah, the red connotes blood. Oh, just give us the full marks now, will you? Give us that A star. A lot of people loved it. People were saying, that is an art form. We need a 10-hour loop. Do we? I mean, to be fair, when I'm working, right, if I just have that on in the background while I'm just working away, just Salt Bae constantly doing that, I'm kind of feeling it. You know what? I actually think we need a 10-hour loop now. Put some, like, lo-fi, you know, beat on the background. I'm there. I'm sat. Not missing a second of that 10-hour. This video would also give Nusret the name Salt Bae. He wasn't called that before. I think the internet kind of named him that and he just ran with it. And I think he recognized that the outfit that he was wearing in that video was very recognizable. The sunglasses, the white t-shirt. So he kind of always wore that. Like, you never really seen Salt Bae not wearing that exact outfit, especially like the slicked back hair. Like, he kind of kept this image as if he was like a superhero. Do you know how you like never see Thor without him wearing his kind of, you know, really intense clothing? I think he was going for the same thing. Honestly, as you're going to see with Salt Bae's ego later in this video, if the Avengers try to recruit Salt Bae, I think he would genuinely think that was real. Now, it wasn't just people online that were absolutely loving Salt Bae. He even took TV by storm. In America, SNL actually made an entire skit on him.
Salt Bae is at our table.
Evening, bro. Got any specials tonight?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I know the specials. He's gonna give us the meat.
Did we order this?
Shh, it's happening. Oh.
I do wonder how I would react if Salt Bae, you know, was doing this on my table. Because I would like to think I'd be like, oh yeah, this is mint. Like, you go, this is a talent. Oh God, isn't he so hot? I wish he was my bae. But realistically, I think after the first 2 minutes, I'd be like, I just kind of want to eat it now. I'm just seeing, you know, this guy's elbow dust going on the stage that I've paid thousands of pounds for. Now, one thing that surprised me about the virality of Salt Bae and how he was able to capitalize on it was what he actually did with that face. Like, a lot of people, how many people have we seen get a viral meme and then just gradually they kind of fall off more and more, or they just kind of fall off altogether and you never hear from them again? That happens 99.9% of the time. However, I believe Salt Bae was ready for him to blow up. Like, he might have been ready for years, because this was the stimulant or the steroid for him to just launch multiple restaurants globally. After this video went viral, very quickly he opened up restaurants in London, Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, Doha in Qatar, Mykonos in Greece, and also multiple locations in America, in Miami, New York, Boston, Beverly Hills, Dallas, and Las Vegas. Just all of a sudden it was almost like he went boom, elbow dust everywhere. And you would think, like, after he's opened up these restaurants, he's probably gonna, you know, just go into the kind of shadows a little bit and just kind of run them. However, the opening of these restaurants actually transcended him even more viral, as many people were attending these restaurants and kind of giving him for how expensive it was. Salt Bae's London Steakhouse is known for its delicious food, but also its extortionate prices. Now, just in the London restaurant, dishes range from £17 all the way up to an obscene £1,450. Sorry, I'm sorry, but like, there is nothing on this planet, no dish on this planet, that I am ever, and I mean ever, spending that amount of money on. I wouldn't even spend half of that amount of money on a dish. Like, what? 1,450 quid? Can I spend this on a credit card? I don't even think my credit card has a limit that big. Some people have too much money if you're getting that. Some of the restaurant specials include a golden burger for £100. What, because it's golden, it's £100? Does that change anything? Am I gonna be gold? Is this like an investment? A golden giant tomahawk steak for 1,450. Again, like, does the gold thing change anything? Am I missing out here? I've never ate a golden version of steak before. Maybe I can't knock it until I try it, guys. I want to be rich enough where I can just go to a restaurant and just get that. Golden giant strip loin for 1,350 and golden cafes for 500 quid. We actually seen someone's receipt of going to Salt Bae's restaurant in London. Now, as you can see, the total due is £1,800, which is crazy. Also, imagine, like, service charge 236 quid. Imagine getting that as a tip. If you were a server, hopefully, you know, you do get all of the service charges. I know they split it off, you know, obviously between the kitchen staff and the serving team a lot of time. But you must get canny tips if you work here, no? Now, just looking at some of the things individually, like, you can see the giant tomahawk, which isn't golden, by the way, just a normal one. £630. I just feel like, you know, after I'd ate it and, you know, I'm full, I think I would regret it, because yeah, I'm full and I feel good, but then I'm going to be like, well, I'm £630 down and it's in my belly right now. Even the fact that, like, smaller things such as sweet corn is £12, I just think that's ridiculous. Like, you paid £12 for sweet corn. You couldn't pay me to eat sweet corn. Even looking here, like, why is 2 Coca-Colas £18? £9 each for a Coke? Are you taking the £9 for a Coke? I'll just go thirsty. Honestly, I'll just go thirsty. 4 Red Bulls for 44 quid as well, man. World's gone mad. World has gone mad. He's just upselling absolutely everything. Like, his margin must be crazy. It said here that somebody actually tweeted that they spent £37,000 at the restaurant in one night. And that kind of makes me think, are people that are going to these restaurants going to kind of flex? Like, is it kind of a flex that you can pay loads of money at Salt Bae's restaurant? Because I don't feel like it is. That doesn't make you cool to me. If anything, I look at you and go, I think you've kind of had your pants pulled down here. You know, you're kind of feeding in to a guy that is quite clearly just ripping you off, and you're kind of, you know, bragging about this. Maybe that's just me saying that because, you know, I'm never going to pay that money for it. I'm just trying to kind of be self-aware here. But I don't think, you know, any steak is worth that amount of money personally. Me and Chloe had Aldi steaks the other day, right? And I was like, honestly, I feel like they're as good as what I get in restaurants if I order steak. Now, we are going to see some videos of Salt Bae in his restaurants, like showing this golden food, but I do have a photo of the golden steak. Now, as you can see here, I don't know if it is real gold. I don't know how that digests. I've never tried it, guys, honestly. I'm going to do that next time I go in Greg's. I'm just going to be like, yeah, can I get 2 sausage rolls? Yeah, can I get the chocolate star? Yeah, and just like, yeah, just a few cubes of your chocolate gold, please. Thank you very much, love. That is crazy. Like, genuinely, it is mental. That's a real thing. I've never seen that in real life. Now, despite the really high prices, Salt Bae's London restaurant and other restaurants that he opened actually, like, started really, really well. People didn't seem to care about how expensive it was. They just wanted to see Salt Bae in front of them doing his act. I mean, that table must love a Lost Mary. Christ, could you not at least stopped when he was cutting their steak? Addiction, guys, honestly. It's so extra! Bro, what is this, like, potion that Professor Snape dropped off? Oh, it spins. Oh, it spins. Okay, right. I didn't realize it spins. Yeah, it's actually worth the money now. If it was written in the menu that, oh, by the way, the steak spins, then I'd be like, okay, right, take my money. Take it. Bearing in mind, like, what you've just saw there is part of the 1,400 and odd package that you've just paid for.
You will take our photos only in the meat. Only meat.
Well, there's like 3 flies over that. I think he's just cut a fly in half.
Tony will make it.
Oh, he's slow-moed it. Bro, you can see all the salt getting stuck in his arm and stuff, man. What's the point in him even wearing gloves? Like, I don't understand, because it's just going on his skin anyway. I also love that he gets, like, a salt holder as well. Imagine that was your job role. Like, you are just the salt apprentice. It is pretty cool. I'm sorry, like, I feel like this guy is just taking the out of rich people. What happens, like, if you pay that amount of money and Salt Bae's not there? Have you just kind of even more embarrassed yourself? Like, I feel like if you pay that amount of money, at least you want to see him there. Like, if it's like a stand-in, like an understudy, I'm gonna be good. Like, who's this? Okay, so this is like the pre-bit before he comes. It's like waiting for a WWE wrestler. Where is he? Oh, there he is! There he is! Yeah, we've been staring at it for about like 5 minutes, Mr. Bae. When you've been fannying about. It's getting cold here.
$5,000 at Salt Bae.
You said you were crying. Okay, I can take you there.
Sorry, wait a minute. Did that cheese just go all over the customers there? Bro, that just literally just splashed them all. He just went, there we go, peasant. I don't want to seem like I'm doom and glooming here, because I understand it's a bit, it's like his thing, it's the thing he's made famous, but I just can't justify the money here. Again, this is where I'm struggling with. If it was like a normally priced steakhouse, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is cool, but I don't know. And at this point, I believe Salt Bae was kind of at the peak of his powers. All of his restaurants were thriving, his personal brand was thriving more than ever. People were even saying that he's becoming bigger than Gordon Ramsay at this point, whether you believe that or not. At that time, I don't think so, but that's what people were saying. However, despite all of these accolades he was getting, beneath him, his business was starting to crumble. Many people were recognizing that Salt Bae's ego was getting ahead of him. Like, he didn't have an ego on the come up. Yet now that he's got all of this money and fame, it was kind of getting to his head. One of the first things that backed this up was when he went online bragging about how much people were spending in his restaurant. Like, he would often tweet some of the biggest bills. So as you can see here, he posted one that is 615,000 dirhams, which is 140,000 pound in the UK. Who's splashing that kind of money, man? In one of his restaurants in one night, he would tweet this, and this was kind of in response to people calling his food overpriced. He was saying basically, if you've got the money and you're not complaining. So very clearly he was getting affected by people saying that his food wasn't worth this amount. Now, despite people spending this amount of money in his restaurant still, the actual like everyday customer that was going here were leaving terrible reviews on TripAdvisor. Now, at the time of filming, it has 2.8 out of 5 in terms of reviews. People saying expensive, best tip I can offer future diners, don't go here. Some people are so funny with their reviews. I feel like we need to make a full video on just restaurant reviews. They're hilarious. Service below 0, very disappointing. Food was extremely poor. Like, I'm just scrolling here. I'm not finding the worst ones. These are just the most recent ones. Worst burger, it's not worth a bit. Trash. One. I finally found one saying great restaurant from Agartha. So sorry I went there. Simply horrible and disaster. Takeaway food will taste much better. So yeah, you know, people are saying that even though it's very, very expensive, the actual quality of the food doesn't equate to that price. How can it really? Like, if you're charging that much for food, there's very little wiggle room to be impressed because you're already expecting the best meal that you've ever had. So even if it falls a little bit short of that, but it's still unbelievable, you're going to be disappointed. You're just setting yourself up for failure charging this much. And guests were starting to increasingly get more and more annoyed as they were going, as they said that Salt Bae no longer looks interested when he's doing the performances like he once did.
Yeah.
Nusrat!
Yes, sir.
MashaAllah! Oh!
Yes.
You don't want to come to World Cup?
We're going to
I think he's on the call with someone.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Yes, sir.
World Cup final. Nusrat!
Yes, sir.
Now, I can kind of see this from both sides. You know, imagine he does this like so many times a day. Like one time he's going to probably, you know, kind of be disinterested. But then again, you are spending so much money, you expect a certain level of care and service for spending that amount of money. So there's no real excuse for him to not show your table the amount of respect he would show a table with like David Beckham on, because he wouldn't do this for David Beckham. He would be locked in. He wouldn't be talking to someone else. This just kind of shows a lack of care and respect, which a lot of people have said, you know, his restaurants kind of demonstrate, even with just the waiting staff in general. And I'm not even blaming the waiting staff for this. As you're going to see later in this video, like it's allegedly said that Salt Bae doesn't actually treat the people that work for him that well. So why would they be motivated to, you know, elevate his businesses? I remember seeing this clip of a super fan of Salt Bae who basically travelled like for ages to finally meet him. And apparently for years he's been kind of studying him and trying to be like him, like trying to understand his recipes, etc. And I think Salt Bae was just really rude to him.
Salt Bae.
Hello. I literally try to be just like you. I've learned everything from you. I make my own videos just like you. You're my inspiration. You helped me make my own business. And now enjoy.
Yeah, honestly, like, you're my inspiration. You're the reason I'm still here today. You gave me purpose in life.
Alright.
You know, if any of you come up in the street to me and say, oh, Cam, I love your videos, like, I love sitting down watching them, I'm going to be like, alright. That is crazy. Like, the person wasn't even going, oh, I love your work. They were, like, really opening up there. And I understand the guy's busy. There might even have been a little bit of, like, a language barrier there. I don't know. But this is definitely a case of don't meet your heroes. Like, very clearly, he just didn't really care. He was like, yeah, okay, mate. Like, are you spending money here? No. Okay, bye. Like, clearly, I don't know if these people, like, are, you know, more used to him, but he's definitely having a full conversation with these people. I don't know if these people, you know, are more valuable. I don't know. But this clip and the clip with the previous table, it shows that he definitely picks and chooses who he kind of, you know, shows off for. Now, around this time, there was also some more controversy around Salt Bae, as there was an incident in one of his restaurants where basically it caught on fire from an act they were doing, and some people got injured. I believe one person actually still has permanent scars from it. Like, as you can see here, like, they put the fire on and it kind of explodes onto everybody. There, obviously, you can see the photo here of someone, you know, like, this is, you know, really, really, really bad. But again, it's just one thing after another with Salt Bae at this point. Like, the positive trajectory of his fame definitely was dwindling at this point. Also around this time, many staff members of Salt Bae's restaurants were talking about how they didn't feel like they were treated very nicely working here. Some people even referred to Salt Bae as a dictator. One member of staff in the London restaurant actually said it was like working in the Hunger Games. Like, to compare your job to the Hunger Games, it's got to be pretty bad. And things weren't about to get much better for Salt Bae, as he would have one of his most publicly embarrassing moments yet when Argentina would win the World Cup. Now, somehow Salt Bae got unauthorized access to actually get onto the pitch during the celebrations after the World Cup final. Now, obviously, all of the players are kind of celebrating with their family and friends, and he was like inserting himself. Now, bearing in mind, this guy isn't even Argentinian. If he was Argentinian, it wouldn't make it much better, but it kind of makes it worse that he is Turkish, because why are you here? Like, you clearly, I know you lived in Argentina for a little bit, but you don't really have anything to do with this, so why are you trying to make this about you? Like, why is he taking the trophy off Martinez there? Look, like, why is he holding it? What are you doing? Oh, like, have you won that? Like, this actually pissed me off, because this guy's done nothing to contribute to, you know, these lads winning this. Like, this is such a historical, memorable thing. These people will be heroes in their country forever. This guy's just taking the trophy off them and acting as if he's the only one who's responsible for this victory. So strange. Like, Messi's like, what are you doing, mate? Alright, yeah, alright. Photo, right, like, why does he keep dragging him? He's like, alright, mate, f*** off. Like, look at him dragging him. Why is he holding on to him? It's such strange behaviour. I don't know if it's because his rise to fame was so quick that, you know, it's kind of, he hasn't been able to kind of, you know, understand that he's not the most famous person in the world. But I genuinely think in his head, he feels like he's the most important person there and everybody should be taking a photo with him. Honestly, if he was allowed, I think he would have took a team photo with the team that they could put on all of their Argentinian socials. Messi is so much more famous than Salt Bae, and obviously he doesn't even know Salt Bae. So So why would he want to be friends with him? For what reason? Because he does this to some food? Like, nobody cares, mate. As you've seen in the start of this video, I mentioned all of the American locations. There was about 6 or 7 restaurants that Nusret had in America. Well, as of today, I believe only 2 of them are still open. He had to close all of the other ones because they weren't successful. It's interesting as well because the ones he had to close were in Beverly Hills, California, Miami, and New York City, which you could argue are some of the most, some of the places where people spend the most money. And that's all he kind of wants. He kind of wants this elevated status. So the fact that his restaurants aren't thriving in some of the most famous cities, that definitely is going to get to him. And also from like a personal brand perspective, when you go on his Instagram, you can see he has 52 million followers, which is incredible, like unbelievable achievement. But his engagement is really low, like 9,000 likes, 17,000 likes, 9,000. That engagement rate is kind of shocking. Like, obviously he's not going to get like 52 million likes per post, but he doesn't even have like 1% engagement rate. But clearly the people that followed him at the start are no longer interested. And it does make me think, like, where is Salt Bae going to be in another year's time? Because his personal brand can no longer carry his restaurants. His restaurants provide a service that people don't think is attached to the price tag, and you're never going to keep customers in that case. It's like if I kept putting out videos that were really low effort, terrible, loads of like just issues with them, I just looked really moody the entire time. Eventually you're going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe we should do another video in like a year's time to see where Salt Bae is. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, donuts. Put loads of research into it, and I actually found his journey very interesting, and there's loads of highs and lows. Let me know if there's anybody else you'd like me to do this kind of character profile on, because I really do enjoy them. And if you want to drop a like on this video, I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to watch a video that is exactly like this one, where we document the rise and fall of one of the most famous comedians America's produced, Amy Schumer, click this video. It's an absolute roller coaster. See you over there. Bye bye.
Camkirkham, baby.